Please come. Abraham. Please plug this in. Okay, please let's join up and start. So, so This one you cut out.
Maybe this one. Good. Which they good.
The next one. So we're starting on top of the hour. Sharp 10 minutes past 10. That's long. Hello and welcome. So we're going to be continuing our class in Django. So I'm going to quickly share my screen so that we can start up. Okay, this is where we'll start. And this is the last code that we did yesterday. And it was inside the views. We are using template this time around. So when we went inside views.py under post, we're able to write out this very view. And this view is displaying index.html that is in the template. So we're using what we call template view. That's what we did yesterday. And we said that we're going to be expanding more on this because we'll be using more of this type of view to make our work look much, much more better. So apart from using the return HTTP response, there's another way we could have done this using what we call a shortcut render. So we might have to just try it out. It's almost the same code, but when you return, you're rendering this very view. So this is another way of doing it, but it's to still give us the same answer. So we can quickly take this out now. We can copy this. Then we'll go to our view.py under post and replace the code we have there with this. We'll see that we also have similar results. So I'm going to pick this up. We're trying out this because this is from the documentation that they have on the Django website. It's always good to try it out so that when we are doing our main project, we can pick out the one we want to use. If I go to views.py, this is my view.py. So instead of having this, here I'm just returning the HTTP response. I can just pick out this, only this, then I paste what I have there now. So I can take out these two because I already have them. Okay, so this is what I'm having now. So if I do Control S to save and I go back to run, I should get similar results. Okay, so I'm going to cd into post star. And another post, I'm going to say Python manage.py run server. Okay, so that I can take a look at what it looks like to use the render method. So it's very common idiom to load a template, fill a context, and return HTTP response. That is what we've been doing so far, object, with the result of the rendered template. Django provides a shortcut. Here's the full index rewritten. So this is the shortcut using this very render method, and that is what we just did now. Note that once we've done this in all these views, we no longer need to import loader and HTTP response. You want to keep HTTP response if you still have the stop methods for details, results, and votes. And you know that we have detail, results, and votes, so that's why we're keeping only HTTP response, but we don't need loader again. So if we get back here, because we are keeping detail, these results, and these votes, we are still keeping our HTTP response. But we will not need this very loader again. So you can take it out if you want. Okay. So let me run this /post and see what it's going to be like. I'm going to simply get this my local host. I'm going to do localhost / post. Localhost / post. Okay.
That is what I call it down for you.
So localhost / post. So let me rerun my server.
Small one. That is what I offer. That there.
Okay. So I have localhost / post. Okay, so I'm getting some error. Namespace name render is not defined. Okay. Get post render is not defined. Okay. So let me quickly check this out. Okay. So I'll go back and rerun. Error. So who has done it? Okay. So I don't have spot render. I think that's my issue now. Okay. So you can see I've not from Django shortcut imported render. I think I took it out. I mistakenly deleted it. I'm gonna put it back and save. Yes. So I think it should work well now. Okay, so it's working perfectly. Okay. Yeah, so Fortune, what we just did was that we initially used HTTP response for this. So what we did was that we are using a shortcut for render to do the same thing. So when you get to your views.py, are you listening? Instead of having the formal code that we have there, that's from index upwards. So you leave the other detail and the other things down. Just replace with this. And it should work. So that's what we just did. So next line of things, we want to learn how to raise 404 error. In case somebody wants to get to a page, but the page is not there. You understand? How do you do it? If you're using WordPress and all those things, they already have it in there, isn't it? If you want to access a page that it is not there, you just write 404 error for WordPress. So for Django, how are you able to do that? So that's what we're going to try to do now. So you can see subheading raising a 404 error. Now let's tackle the question detail view. The page that displays the question text for a given pool. And this is the, to open up our VS Code under details, you can see this is what we have. Details is only showing us you are looking at question. It's not very well detailed. So in order to make it detailed, we're going to pick up this code and replace what we have there. So I'm going to simply pick up this code. Then when I get there, this is my details. So I replace it with this. But make sure that, importantly, because of the mistake we did the first time, make sure that you import from Django HTTP. Make sure that you import HTTP 404. So that's what is going to show the error. So I'm going to go up here and do Control S to save. So that's how you can be able to raise 404 error. So the new concept here, the view raises 404 exception if a question with the requested ID doesn't exist. So once you want to request a question with an ID that doesn't exist, it will raise 404 error. We'll discuss what could be put in the pool/detail.html template in a bit later. But if you like to quickly get the above example working, a file containing just this, so you can quickly create this inside pools. Do we know how we can create this? We have index.html inside pools, isn't it? So we're going to create detail.html inside pools template. So let's do that immediately. So I'm going to just copy this code. Then I'll go to pools folder inside templates and create detail.html and paste what I copied. So if I get back, this is pools and this is them. We're able to do that. We're able to create detail.html and we'll paste the questions. If everybody have done it, let me know. Has anybody done that? Yeah. Okay. So once you've done it, let's move further. Just like we have a shortcut for that HTTP response using the render, we also have shortcuts for the 404, which you simply by this very simple line of code, question equal to get underscore object or 404. So it's either it's getting the object and returning the post slash detail template, or it's giving you a 404 error. So you can see that this is shorter. So we're going to use it and replace what we had before. So I'm going to simply copy this. This is for details alone. We are looking at different ways of solving the same problem. So if I get back and I go to my views.py, then for my details, instead of having this that is longer, I'm going to just replace it with what I just got here. Okay. But if I'm going to use this, make sure, very, very importantly, that you import this. So from Django shortcut, import both get underscore object or 404 and render. I'm going to pick this out and I'm going to put it here. From Django shortcut, both render and get object underscore or 404. So it does the same thing, but in a shorter way and more straight to the point. So I'm going to Control S to save. Okay. So please try and do that. Please try and do that. Okay. In our detail.html template, we just put only question because we just wanted to test out something. But to make it more elaborate, we are going to replace it with this very code. So I'm going to pick out this. So I'll go back to my details.html, which is here. I'll replace it with that. Control S to save. So that's what I have in my details now. Okay. So instead of running to see what we are doing, I'm gonna move further. I want to tidy up everything before we run, so that we can go through it line by line, please. So removing hard-coded URLs in templates. Remember when we wrote the link to a question in the post/index.html template, the link was permanently hard-coded like this. So this was how it was linked, but we're going to change that. The problem with this hard-coded, tightly coupled approach is that it becomes challenging to change URLs on projects with a lot of templates. However, since we define the name argument in the path function in the post.urls model, you can remove a reliance on specific URL paths defined in the URL configuration by using the curly bracket with URL and percentage sign, just as it's written here, and it's known as template tag. That's what we're gonna do. The way this works is by looking up the URL definition as specified in the post.url model. You can see exactly where the URL name of the detail is defined below. Okay. If you want to change the URL of the post detail view to something else, perhaps to something like post/specifics/12 slash, instead of doing it in the template or templates, you will change it in the post slash URL dot file by adding this simple line of code. Okay, after doing that, the last thing we are going to be looking at is namespacing URL names. So the tutorial project has just one app, which is post. In real Django projects, there might be 5, 10, 20 apps, or even more. How does Django differentiate the URL names between them? For example, the post app has a detail view, and so might an app on the same project that is for a blog. So you can have detail view for both the post and the blog. How does one make it so that Django knows which app view to create for a URL when using the URL template tab? The answer to this is to add namespace to your URL contained in the post slash urls.py file. So go ahead and add the app name to set the application's namespace. Okay. Now change your post slash index template from this to this. Okay. So that should be it. That should be all. If you are following, let's do this. In our post.url, please let's paste this row. Let's replace it with this. So I'm gonna pick this up here. I'm gonna pick this up. Then I'm gonna go to post.url, post slash URL. That means under post, the URL.py. Yeah. So I'm gonna replace this with this. I'm gonna do Ctrl S to save. Okay, that's what we have now. So I'm gonna go back under post slash index.html. That is in the template. This very line of code, I'm gonna replace it with this. I'm gonna just pick up this. Then I'll go back under template, index.html. This very line of code that talks about the list. That's the only thing I'm changing. Okay. So I've done that. So I'm gonna do Ctrl S to save. And finally, okay. Okay, I think everything should be okay now. The last one. Okay, the last one is this. I just picked, if you go to the Django project, the very last code there, I just picked it up. Then I went to index.html in the template. Then I just picked just one line of code. You see where li started. Just pick that same line and replace it with what you copied. Yeah, we also did the second to the last. What we did in the second to the last was that we just picked everything in the post slash URLs and went back and replaced everything that was in our post slash URL. That's this. Which one? Index.html. That's the very last one. Okay, I should go up. Under post URL dot pipe. Huh? So I copied this. This is what I now replace what we are not. Which one? This one. This one. And that's what I'm saying. I just copied this. Can you see this one? Huh? This very last one. Then I went into my VS Code and went to where, because this was what was there already. You understand? So I use this to replace what was there. So once we do it, I think everything is okay now. So we can simply get back and refresh. So when we refresh, if you go to what's happening here, can you see what happened? Once you click on what's happening here now, you see all the choices, not much, and the sky. So it's now working. This one we've not added choices there. This one we've not added, okay, not much and sky also. So it's now working perfectly. So both the detail view is showing and the index views are showing, all of them are showing perfect. Yeah. No, not all of them. It's only one or two. In fact, it was only one that we added choice. But we learn to add choice. Can you, okay, everybody log into your back end so that we can add more questions and add choice. Let's play with it. So go to your back end, everybody. Make sure that all the 10 questions that I gave you as an assignment, all of them have choices. And make sure you're on the same page so that when we connect, we'll do the final part. The final part is part 4, and that is the last part. Okay. So let everybody be on the same page first before we look at this final part, so that we can start another thing. Okay, there is part 5 as well. Okay. Okay, I think part 4 is where the main thing is. Then part 5 is all about testing and the rest. Okay. So please get to the same page. Okay, part 6 is customizing the app look. Part 7 is customizing the admin. Okay.